What's going on, y'all? This is your boy, Scotty by Nature TV, and we are here for a review of Unsung featuring Bobby Caldwell. Now, as I told you guys late last year, that in 2024, I'm going to start getting more so into a lot of content that I really care about discussing. You know, we have the reality TV commentary, we have the gossip commentary. Love reality TV, gossip, not really so much. So I said I want to get more into music commentary and just give it more of a balance, talk about the things that my audience want me to talk about, and just talk about the things that I'm passionate about. And Calvin Michaels, who I adore, actually encouraged me to go into music content because that's something that I have a big interest in. And I do watch people like not Empress, Impressive. I do watch Impressive. I do watch Black Femininity and their deep dives on music, as well as Calvin Michaels, of course. And I want to do content like that. So Unsung was one of those things that some of my subscribers actually suggested for me to do. So I'm like, I'm not really too sure about it, but I said I'll give it a stab. So I took notes. I watched it this morning. I did not realize that the new season of Unsung had already started. So I watched it this morning, and I decided to just give it a shot. Now, Bobby Caldwell, he's a white soul artist. Now, the song "What You Won't Do for Love," I for a long time did not know that that was a white man singing that song. I never knew that. I never knew that. Even now, I did not know that. And because I never really took out the time to like research Bobby Caldwell like that. And um "What You Won't Do for Love" is a song that I like, but it wasn't really like one of my favorite records like that. So I never took out the time to really just dig and do a deep dive on him. But I just never knew that he was white. Like that shit was crazy. But Unsung starts off with Bobby Caldwell sitting down, and this is his first in-depth interview in 6 years since he had suffered from side effects of a prescription drug that turned his life and career around, and then not for the better. The thing of it was he had like a runny nose and a cough, and he was giving an antibiotic that made him sick. And now at that moment, he's still dealing with all the side effects of it, all of the makings of it, everything that makes him sick. And he's constantly in pain. And I was like, damn, like that's crazy. Like you walking around here with a runny nose and you start sneezing and coughing and shit, and you decide, okay, let me go take an antibiotic. And you take the antibiotic and the shit turns around and make you sick. The shit crazy. He was born in Manhattan, New York, and his parents were performers on a variety show, whatnot. And then, as time went on, they later on moved to Miami, and that's where he decided to learn how to play like the guitar and bass and piano. So he was engulfed into music, and he knew that that was something that he really wanted to do. Sounds like me. I've always been engulfed into music. Never wanted to play instruments, but was always interested in writing. I have so many songs that I wrote or whatever. So it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So then he got into this band. I think it's called Catamunda. I think that's what it was called. Catmunda, whatever the fuck it was called. I forgot the name of it. I can't really pronounce it that well. But and they later got like a record deal with like this record label called Mainstream Records. Then he went on to get married, lost his son. His son died, and then later on they got divorced after their son passed. After him and his wife's son passed, they got a divorce, and then the band broke up. Then after the band broke up, Bobby later on went on to pursue a solo deal, but he was rejected by every record label that there was. Every major label that he went to get a record deal from, they denied him. But then he later signed a deal with this record label called TK Records, and he started working on his debut album, right? So then he dropped this song called "What You Won't Do for Love," and that song went to the top 10 of the R&B charts, and they worked that song for 14 months. And because they was working that record for 14 months, he wasn't allowed to tour. So nobody really knew that he was white. They knew the song. They just didn't know that he was white. Like when they even put out like the record or the single or whatever, they didn't even have this picture on there. They had like this black silhouette on there, and they had his name up there, and they had the name of the record called "What You Won't Do for Love" up there. So for a long time, nobody even knew that he was white for a long time. And even now, some people still don't really know that he was white. Like singing that, he does not sound like a white boy at all singing that song. And so, he knows that over the last couple of years, there's been a lot of people that remade the song "What You Won't Do for Love." I know Tupac remade it. For certain, I know for a fact he remade it. A lot of people have used that sample. They've remade the record and done all of that. So the song is very popular amongst the rappers and the hip hop community and all that good stuff, right? So then, he dropped a new song right after "What You Won't Do for Love" called "My Flame" or whatever. He dropped that, and that pushed his debut album to double platinum. That's what happened. So after that, he started recording his second album, which was called Cat in the Hat. And he knew that with his first album doing so well, he had a lot of high expectations on him. um, they were stuck in their contract though. I think they were trying to move on to a whole nother label, but was stuck in their contract, so they had to keep it going. They had a record called Coming Down for Love as the first single. It landed in the top 40, and the album went gold. So in the midst of everything else, TK Records then went bankrupt due to the negotiations that they were trying to do with CBS Records. They was trying to negotiate a deal with CBS Records, and it didn't go through. The deal disappeared, and that's why they filed for bankruptcy. And then so he was stuck in limbo at this point. Like he's in the midst of this whole situation. Things are not going too well for him. Later on down the line, TK's rights were sold to an TK Records rights were sold to a whole nother company, and then Bobby was released from the record label, and then he signed with the label that was way bigger than TK, which was called Polygram. So then Bobby then went on to record his third album, and it was more pop leaning. Okay, the reaction to it was great, but there was a new head at the record label, and at Polygram, the head of this label, his whole priority was for it to be a rock label. But of course, Bobby was not a rock artist. So Polygram was not sure what to do with him as an artist. But he had a 2 album deal. So with his third album that they dropped, the momentum died because they didn't do nothing with it. And then he released the album also in Japan so he can fulfill his contract obligations and get off the label. So then not too long after that, Bobby started doing cocaine and he was heavy on it. And he said that in this industry, he was around so many people, that was doing cocaine. There was a lot of people around him doing it. And, he kind of fell into the whole thing of, sex, drugs, and rock and roll type of thing himself. And once the people around him realized that it was getting too bad, they sent him back to Miami, and he spent 10 months into a program, and he got clean and never did it again. So when time came, oh my God, oh my God, I don't know how DJ Richard Scott started popping up on my shit. But so as time went on, instead of being an artist, he started writing music for other people. And then his music took a new life of his own in Japan, and he was able to tour there. He was able to, do more things musically in Japan because he had gotten this full-fledged fan base there. And even in the midst of him being there, he got married and had twins. And he started this record label called Syndrome. Him and his current wife Mary got married. He dropped his first jazz album. He continued to put out music. But then after a while, that's when this whole thing with this sickness started to happen, and he wasn't able to tour. And for a while, when it first started, they would wheel him out in a wheelchair just so he could perform for the people that's out there and whatnot. And not too long after he did this episode of Unsung, I think like 4 months later, Bobby Caldwell had passed away. I didn't even know he died. Didn't really know that he died. But what I can say about this whole thing was it was very interesting to watch this. At first I said, I was looking at this season of Unsung and I was like, well, they got a lot of artists on here that I'm not really interested in, or artists that I didn't really listen to like that. But I was like, you know what? It wouldn't hurt to watch it, take notes, and still do Unsung reviews on there, because I do have an audience of people that do watch my videos that are much older than me, and they know some of these artists. So I decided that I would just go ahead and watch every single episode of Unsung, and I would do reviews on it. And I know that this review was a little short because I really didn't have any that much interest in Bobby Caldwell as an artist, because the only song that I really knew about him was "What You Won't Do for Love." That's the only song that I knew by him. But it was very interesting to see how so many people did not know that he was a white guy. He was doing all that music. It was just crazy. You know what I'm saying? But that's really about it though. That's all I got for it. So I hope you guys enjoyed it for what it was. I'm pretty sure that these reviews will get longer, but this is my first time doing any kind of review on Unsung. So we're going to continue the reviews to go along. Later on today, sometime, yeah, I should get an announcement about an interview that I'm doing. It should, I think the interview is tomorrow or Thursday. This next Thursday is one of them. But I'm just waiting them to confirm it. They already let me know that they're gonna do the interview, but they did say Thursday. So we're gonna see if it's this Thursday or next Thursday. But later on today, you will get an announcement. All right. All right. All right. So with that being said, you guys, make sure you guys support Bando Kane. He has a current single out by the name of DUI. It's available right now for purchase and streaming. So make sure you guys get that. All right. Make sure you guys support independent artists like Bando, but also support him because that is just my baby daddy. So with that being said, you guys, this is your boy Scotty by Nature TV. Be sure to like, rate, comment, subscribe, share this video, and also click on the notification bell so you can be notified whenever a video drops. And if you want to follow me on any form of social media, my Twitter, my Instagram, and my TikTok will be down below. With that being said, you guys, your boys up out here. And until my next video, I will see you guys a little bit later. Bye, y'all.